Good morning students. So in this class we are going to discuss about rolling friction. So rolling friction, so start from static friction. So the object starts to slide, so there is a friction, static friction. Then the object moves with constant velocity, that is kinetic friction. Then the object moves using the wheels, that is rolling friction. So the rolling wheels makes it more easier to carrying the luggage. So the suitcase with the wheels, it's more easy to carry the luggage. So when the wheels moves on the surface, the point of contact with the surface is always at rest. So this is the object, then so pair of wheels, so four wheels are there. We are applying a force, so the object moves. So the point of contact with the surface. So the wheels, the point of contact, this is the point of contact. So when the wheel moves on the surface, so the wheel moves on the surface, the point of contact with the surface is always at rest. So there is no relative motion between the wheel and the surface. So there is no relative motion between the wheel and the surface. So the frictional force is somewhat very less. If it is object is moves, that is slides, so without wheels, so there should be a relative motion between the surface and the object. So there should be a greater frictional force. Due to this reason only it is more difficult to move the object using sliding than so if an object is moved with the wheels. So if it is with wheels, frictional force is less because of that point of contact. So the point of contact here is very less, is large. So the frictional force is also large. Ideally in pure rolling, so the object is moves using the moving wheels. So the motion of point of contact with the surface is at rest. So the point of contact, then motion of wheel, that is with the surface is at rest, but in practical it is not like that. So there should be some friction. Then due to the elastic nature of the surface at the point of contact, there will be some deformation on the object at this point on the wheels. So see this, the car is moving means with the help of that wheels. So the wheel is somewhat rotating on the surface of the road. So it's the tire, it touches the surface of the road. So there should be a point of contact. So due to the elastic nature of the surface at the point of contact, so there will be some deformation on the object at this point of contact on the wheel. So just enlarge this. So the point of contact is somewhat very high. So due to the elastic nature of the object with the surface, so due to this deformation, so this is a deformation. So the point of contact somewhat increases. There will be a minimum friction between the wheel and the surface. So the friction is between the surface and the object. So the object is moving in forward means frictional force acts in backward direction. So that is there will be a minimum friction between the wheel and the surface, that is rolling friction. So that is wheel and the surface, that is rolling friction. So the rolling friction is much smaller than the kinetic friction. So kinetic friction means the objects move with constant velocity by applying force. So there should be a friction between the object and the surface. So there should be a relative motion between the object and the surface. So the force, the object moves in this direction means, so the frictional force acts in opposite direction. So the point of contact is somewhat very high. So the kinetic friction is value is high. So the rolling friction is much smaller than kinetic friction. They may ask in 1 marks. So the point of contact plays a major role. So the point of contact is very less. So due to the elastic nature of the object, so some deformation in the object. So then some minimum friction between the wheel and the surface, it creates the rolling friction. So in this class we have discussed, so what is my rolling friction, then so what is the elastic deformation, then rolling friction is much smaller than the kinetic friction. So okay. So